Hello, everybody. Welcome back to How Come. This episode is so fun. It's with Jourdain Searles, comedian, Twitter goddess, and film and TV critic. We are talking about sex in media. We recorded this like right before or right after the Oscars. Either way, it was very culturally relevant at the time, but it still holds up. It really does. We don't really talk about Oscar movies that much. And we are also talking about Jourdain's recent sex advice thread, which I will put in a link down at the bottom so you guys can look at the different types of questions she was answering, different types of sex advice she gave. It's very fun. This episode was recorded like a month and a half ago, and shit just got crazy. I couldn't edit it. First, I was just binge watching Survivor. That's on me. Then I had some crazy family shit go down, and then I got like very ill. The flu is no joke, you guys. Get the fucking flu shot. I don't know why I thought I was like God level and like above the flu. But yeah. Trigger warning, there's some assault that we talk about. We also talk about not being able to have access to abortion in some states. And yeah. There's also a Severance spoiler, but like the season's over now, you guys. But yeah, I don't know. Fast forward like 10 minutes if you don't want to hear the Severance spoiler. And if you do listen to it, let me know what you think about it, because I have been racking my brain about it for literally 2 months now. All right, enjoy the episode. I think you're going to have a lot of fun.
How come? How come? How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help, 'cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
Welcome, Jourdain.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. I feel like I never see you except on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, I've been very antisocial for the past 4 years.
Same.
But I'm back out there. I think lately I've been partying a lot, which is not something that I ever really did that much. Well, I guess back in Georgia, but back where I'm from, partying is just like you go to the same bar, everyone knows you.
Everyone's there.
Everyone's there. Uh-huh. Yeah. Like if you're looking for someone, all you have to do is like walk to the next bar and then there they'll be. So that's a little different than the weekly parties that I've been going to lately.
Are they good? Are they like...
They're good parties.
Parties to hook up or parties to hang out? Or
they're just parties to hang out.
Okay.
Like members of my friend group are for some reason now always throwing them.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go, but...
No, everyone's always up for a while, and there's like cocaine and things of that nature.
NYC, baby.
The city that never sleeps.
Because it's on cocaine.
Yeah, that's really it. Yeah. Yeah. There's like been times where like I've taken home someone from one of those parties, but they had like done so much coke that it's like we have sex and then they won't go to sleep, and I'll just be like, okay, do you want to try marijuana? And they're just like, no, I don't. I only do uppers. It's like, right, but it's 3 a.m.
and you need to go to sleep,
and like I need to sleep, my cat needs to sleep.
Yeah.
We all need to go to bed.
What do you do in that situation? Like, do you kick them out? Like, how do you politely say, I will be going to sleep right now?
What I usually do, like if talking to them doesn't really work, if they're too in the zone, I'll just like hit the bong really, really hard, and then I go to sleep, and then they just have to fend for themselves.
And then furniture is like rearranged in the morning because like they had to keep busy.
I would love it if somebody would just like anxiously do all of my dishes. That would be really nice.
Oh my God, 100%.
Because I've been like cooking lately, which is like weird for me. I was like afraid to cook for many years, and now I do it, and I'm just like, I have to clean all these again.
Isn't that the worst?
Like I just realized that my blender is huge and that I need a smaller blender, because if I have to clean it one more time, I'm going to kill somebody.
I have recently learned how to cook. I'm not a chef at all. Cannot cook for my life, but recently learned how to make lamb chops. And then this week, I guess I ordered in like too many days. And one of the guys here in the basement who like brings up the stuff. I had ordered a salad and just salad. The bags say just salad, and he goes, "Enjoy your salad." And I was like, this is mortifying. I'm going to go to the grocery store now.
Oh my, that's like that Sex in the City episode where Miranda like
the Chinese
gets, like,
restaurant.
paranoid about like yeah.
Chicken with broccoli, brown sauce, brown rice, and noodles.
You know, sounds nice.
It's a great order.
Yeah, it's a good order.
Yeah. Okay, so you brought up TV. You are a film critic.
I am, yeah.
And TV as well?
Yes, I do write about TV.
How did you become a film critic?
When I was in grad school, which is also when I started comedy, I started doing stand-up when I was getting my master's. I studied dramatic writing, and so it was like a lot of workshops and talk about scripts and stuff. Mm-hmm. And essentially, like in class, when it came time to give feedback, my feedback tended to annoy my classmates the most, but also my professors really liked it. And that was kind of like the beginning of it, because I didn't realize that I would just like ask them questions that I thought were just normal questions about the script, and then people would get really mad at me. And just be like acting like I was like judging their choices, or it's just like, no, I just want to understand more.
You were just thinking.
And then people would get mad at me, and then I stopped talking in class, and then my professors had to be like, you have to talk in class. It's like, no, but they get mad every single time I ask them a question.
Well,
like,
that's probably why you're
do.
so good at Twitter now, because that's where people get angry and you're like, I've already done this in school.
Oh yeah, no, I'm used to people getting angry at me. So I don't know, I was just writing so I just write my opinions, and then I got an opportunity for this like fellowship for culture criticism, and I got in, and I've just been doing it ever since.
Cool.
Yeah.
And outlets have just been picking you up because you're like everywhere.
Oh yeah, I mean, like sometimes I reach out to them, sometimes they reach out to me. And I just try to maintain my relationships with the editors, you know.
Mm-hmm. So in the vein of this podcast, do you have any favorite media that is your choice to get horny to, or like a guaranteed horny time?
Guaranteed horny time. I mean, probably David Cronenberg's Crash is probably.
Never seen. Describe.
So it's it's
Cronenberg
about
is the one with the body horror, right?
Yes, that's one of the things he does.
Okay.
Yeah. Crash is about people who get turned on sexually by car crashes.
Okay.
Unlike the other Crash, because people be like, oh, what about the one that won the Oscars? No, I'm not talking about that one. No, I'm talking about the one where they recreate like famous car crashes, and they get turned on. They like drive and like finger each other. There's like so much like it's a really beautiful film, and this doesn't really spoil anything because like the plot is like complicated, but like I always think about the final shot where it's like this married couple, their car crashes on like the side of the road. They get out of the car, and then they just like start like hornily like touching each other, and they just start like like having sex at the crash site, essentially.
Amazing. Do you know what it makes me think of? It's not the same at all, but I used to find Fear a very horny movie.
Yes.
Which I know is problematic now. Like, and I think I knew it was problematic at the time, but that Ferris wheel.
No, I'm right there with you.
Okay.
The wild horses. Yeah.
Oh, couldn't drag me away.
Yes. Yeah. That was one where like it made me horny when I was like a teenager, and then I rewatched it like maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, and I was like, oh my God,
this does not hold up.
This man is terrifying. But you know, when you're young, it's like, oh, he might be a little exciting. There's something a little wrong with him.
Bad. He wants to kill my dad, and so do I.
It's also really funny when you get older and realize that the dad is also kind of hot, and there's a kind of like a weird like dad boyfriend like struggle there. It's like, who gets to own this daughter? And it's like, I mean, she could just own herself.
Or like, no, it's also weird when you realize, because I haven't watched
fear recently, but when you watch old movies where you never were attracted to the dad, and then you realize, oh my God, I'm at that age.
I've had several moments like this. One was watching that show Made for Love, where I found myself attracted to Ray Romano for the first time in my life. It's just like a sad dad, and I was kind of into it.
Yeah, the first time I realized I was attracted to Jerry Seinfeld, I was like, what chemistry hath changed within me?
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I understand. We all got one. I was really into Kramer upon my last rewatch.
That is insane.
I feel like Kramer can fuck. I feel like
definitely. I feel like that's part of his lore.
Yeah.
But I also feel like he smells. Like he looks like a character who smells.
He could either smell bad or like kind of have that kind of like
musky,
that like middle-aged guy cologne, you know, or the musk is a good word for it. Yeah.
And that's another thing I think that changes chemically. Like you're like, oh, I'm never going to be attracted to that smell. And then one day it's like, uh-oh.
It happens.
She's 35. So wait, was there a favorite horny movie from this season? Because I know you just did a bunch of reviews.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I really loved Babygirl.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I started to watch it. I said on Super Bowl Sunday, I was like, this is what I'm going to watch during the game, and then I'll pause it for commercials. Right?
Such a funny thing to do.
Why?
I don't know. That's just, how did that go for you?
Well, I started it and I ended up watching the whole game. That's how little I liked Babygirl.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it. Didn't get past 5 minutes. I watched the sex scene and then I watched her walk down the hall with her skinny little butt. No offense to skinny little butts. But then I was just like, I don't think I'm ready for this right now.
Yeah. Okay. So you watched up until she has sex with her husband. Mm-hmm. She fakes an orgasm very well.
Oh, is that fake?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's a faked orgasm.
Okay.
And then she walks down the hallway and then she opens up the laptop and then she masturbates and then she comes to that. Like that's her
I
actual
didn't even
orgasm.
get to that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it was one of my favorite films from last year. A lot of people have mixed feelings about it, feel weird about it. I was totally locked in. I was so locked in that when I saw it, because I first saw it at the Toronto Film Festival, which was last fall. And there was a Q&A right after, and then as soon as the director started talking, I was just like, oh, I get it. I get her. She gets me. Like, it was just like very, I could tell exactly what she was trying to do with it, because it's essentially like a movie about her trying to deal with her own feelings about BDSM. And she's like, so it's like, she's like a middle-aged woman, beautiful woman. And like Nicole Kidman is like very clearly like playing a version of her.
Yeah, she said, as soon as I saw it was called Babygirl, I said, I'm in. I want to be the Babygirl. Did you see that interview?
No, I didn't. But yeah, no, that's, yeah.
I want to be the Babygirl. A dingo ate your Babygirl.
And she like talks specifically about how she wanted to give her a hot husband so that when she cheats on her husband, you know that it's not because he's unattractive.
Yeah.
It's because of this specific thing that she needs.
Yeah.
But no, I really loved it. I thought that
people did. Like, a lot of people were like, oh my God, my seat was wet after I left the theater.
It's a really interesting exploration of like BDSM, because it's just like about like how can you as a businesswoman, as you know, as this successful woman with like children and a husband, like still want somebody to tell you what to do, and kind of like, and there's a lot of like conversation about it in it, like just like her shame around it, and wondering why she wants it in the first place, and also her conversations with Harris Dickinson, who plays Samuel, her dom, and
the young boy.
Yeah, and their conversations are just like fascinating.
I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I'll push through. Much like some BDSM, you have to push through the pain to get to the pleasure. Have you ever done BDSM yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Okay. So did it seem like a realistic portrayal of somebody who wants to get into it?
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, if you're like an expert, like I was speaking to people who were like, who were like really into it and have been into it for years, and they were just like, well, they don't specify like what kind of play it is, and like they couldn't parse the scene, and it's just like, right, but you have to understand that like it's not trying to be accurate. It's trying to be exploratory. Like she's figuring it out.
Yeah,
And
it's not a 101.
Right, exactly. I mean, there are things about it that are pretty accurate, like specifically the depiction of aftercare, I think is really good.
What is the depiction?
Well, because he can tell that she's like she feels a lot of shame about even just the fact that she wants to do it. And so after they have like one of their early encounters in this hotel room, he like holds her while she cries, and he like puts his hoodie on her. Aww. And they have just like a little sweet embrace. And it's like, and it's like his way of communicating. It's okay.
You're okay.
What we did is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your brain is fine.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Are there I'm trying to think of any other media where aftercare is depicted.
There probably is. I haven't seen a lot of it because I think about like, the first movie that I ever saw BDSM was Secretary, and I still love Secretary so much. Have you?
Never seen. Tell me more.
Well, it's about a woman who becomes a secretary for, I don't remember what the guy does. It's like a law office, maybe. His name is actually Mr. Gray. This was, of course, before 50 Shades of Grey.
Wow.
Like, I'm pretty sure they stole that. But
I mean, they stole the whole storyline from Twilight. It's just a combo of Secretary and Twilight.
Very much so. And it's like she becomes a secretary, and then her boss. She is Maggie Gyllenhaal. She's great in the movie.
Amazing.
And then the boss, which is James Spader, like right before.
Ooh, it was like he's another one that you're like, wait, I find you hot now.
He's so hot. He's so hot.
Yeah.
He just like starts like kind of like spanking her and disciplining her, and it's kind of like sexual harassment, but because it's in the confines of the movie, of course, the twist is that she's actually really into it, which totally freaks him out, because it's like this is something that he's ashamed of, and then it's like she's just like, I actually really like this, and also like I think I'm in love with you, and then he gets like freaked out.
Wait, it's literally 50 Shades of Grey.
yeah.
She's like, I want to marry you. He's like, oh no, I just wanted to spank you.
It's very good. I don't think that there's any aftercare in it until really the end, when they
for him.
Well, because
she has to console him.
She really does have to console him, and then at the end when she like proves that like she's in it, they decide to be together. It's like really beautiful. There's like this like beautiful scene where he like puts her in the bathtub and he like bathes her, and it's like, but it's like her reward for like kind of like being very steadfast with this like weird wishy-washy man who like wants to spank her but then doesn't want to like talk about the fact that he did that.
Yeah.
And so he kind of has to like get over himself, essentially.
Okay, wait, now I'm thinking, because I've never even talked about this, do doms get aftercare sometimes?
That's a great question. Perhaps,
right? Because
sometimes
they must feel like weird
some,
about stuff sometimes, or like, oh, did I take it too far? And then the sub has to.
Yeah, that's definitely happened. I've experienced that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where I'm just like, no, it's fine.
Are you more a sub or a dom or a both?
I'm a sub.
You're a sub. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Which is very confusing for people, I think, because oftentimes when people hit on me, especially men, they want me to like peg them and stuff, and it's like, I guess you're mistaking the fact that I'm Jamaican. I'm not dominant, I'm just direct.
I was gonna be like, are Jamaican women known for pegging?
No, Jamaican women are known for having an attitude, which is mistaken for, I think, other things.
But there's so many people that are like dominant in the world and submissive in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
That shouldn't be misleading to anybody.
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah.
Have you ever tried pegging?
No, I haven't. I've never. Well, like straps are expensive, so if I was gonna get a strap, like I would have to be like, okay, I'm committing to this.
Yeah.
So no, I've never done that.
Okay. But you hook up with women as well, too?
I do, yeah.
And
yeah.
no strap investment for those people?
I mean, the women usually top me.
Got it. She's a sub through and through.
Yeah. Yeah. I love tall women.
Do you?
I do. Yeah.
Climb them like a tree?
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching a lot of Survivor, so I'm just really into
Survivor.
trees.
I've never watched that, but I've noticed that like
Jourdain,
it's really popular in the queer community. People.
I just started it, and I have watched like 9 seasons already.
Wow. This is like when I the last time I got like that obsessed with like anything that wasn't like fictional, I got really into the investigation discovery show Deadly Women, and I watched the entire thing.
Okay. See, it was out of horniness. If you guys listened to my Marvel section on the Dan Perlman episode, I talk about this. I became obsessed with Boston Rob in a sexual way, and then Parvati in a sexual way from other respective game shows, Traitors and Deal or No Deal Island. So then I watched their seasons, and I was just horny for them the whole time. And then I was like, wait, this is like a really amazing show, and the people are like pretty naked the whole time. So I'm like, you're learning how to build a shelter, how to fish. People look good.
You know,
It's a hot show.
Those are skills that I could use probably.
Totally.
I
like never wanted to spearfish before. Now it's all I can think about.
I can't even swim.
Me neither.
I really need to learn. Every single time I watch a movie where it's like people have to like swim to live, it's like, oh, I would die. Yeah.
No, I
just be dead.
technically have learned how to swim, but I am so bad at it. And I don't know, my lungs would give way. But okay, so I was talking about your Twitter presence. And you recently did a Q&A anonymous box thing.
Yeah, I did.
That was like, ask me sex questions, ask me anything.
Yeah, I did that for a week.
Really good advice from somebody who, that's not your job, but it was fantastic. And people were like, holy shit, like, how did you get to be so good at this type of advice?
I think, well, part of it is I have younger siblings. I've talked about them before.
Okay.
One of my sisters is 17. She'll be 18 soon, which makes me feel crazy because she was born when I was in high school, and I just remember very vividly taking care of her, so it's crazy. But she started becoming sexually active, and she started talking to me about it, which made me feel really, I was very honored that she came to me, and also like relieved, because it's like, oh good, she came to me, like, so that I don't have to, there won't be any like surprises, like
and she feels comfortable enough with you, and like thinks you're cool enough to like give good advice. It's like a double pat on the back.
Yeah. We were having a conversation a couple months ago where she was talking about having sex with someone and saying that it was uncomfortable. And I was like, well, what's going on? And she's just like, well, like I was kind of like dry. And I was like, okay, well then just like use lube next time. And she was just like, I thought that lube was like for old people.
Everybody does.
And I was like, no, it's there. It makes things so much easier.
Yeah.
You just need to have it.
You can also use it as massage oil.
Yeah.
If you don't want to put it like directly on there, like put it on your whole body.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice. It's nice. So
do you have a favorite lube?
No, I'm more of like a water-based gal. Well, sometimes like I kind of the intense ones. It's like for her pleasure. I do like those.
The ones that like sizzle.
I like the
I
ones
can't
that
handle those ones. My cousin recently gave me one of those minty pads when I was on my period.
Oh my God.
And she didn't tell me it was like minty, and I was like, what the fuck is going on in my pants?
Oh, that's crazy. I've just been using a Diva cup. I've been using a Diva cup for
The
such
Diva
a
cup
long.
is fantastic.
It's but
But anyway, so your sister.
So I had to tell her about that, and I also had to like give her because like she lives in Georgia with the rest of my family, and like I've had I try to keep it like as basic as possible. Like one time she was worried about like, oh no, what if I'm gonna get pregnant? I was like, listen, if you ever feel like you might be pregnant, like the moment that you feel that way, call me immediately.
Yeah.
And we're gonna we'll take care of it, whatever's going on. Because it's just like, well, and a lot of people don't know. It's like if it's like early enough, you can just like take a pill and it won't have to be invasive. It's just like,
Can you still do that in Georgia?
I mean, I'd have to send the pill. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like, so if she needed one,
Yeah.
I would have to get it here and send it to her there.
Okay.
And so I just like trying to let her know it's like, it's not going to be a dire situation if you get it early enough, if you tell me about it early enough.
Yeah, well, she's lucky to have you.
Yeah. I would just want, because I just don't want, I don't know. I feel like when I was answering the questions too, I was thinking this, like, people are just so like afraid of it. They're afraid of the consequences of it. They're afraid of performing. They're afraid of, like getting STIs, which like, I've actually never gotten an STI, which is like very.
You're the only one here
about it, because I'm always just like, man, it's weird that it's never happened.
You know what? I used to say I never got COVID, and then a week later, bam!
Like there was one time there was a time period where I was sleeping with other comics, and thankfully.
Oh, that is crazy to get out of that with no STIs or anything.
Thankfully, well, like one of the last ones that I slept with, like, he ended up having a baby mama, which this has happened many times. I'll go out with someone or sleep with someone, and then I'll like hear from like their significant other. And my way of dealing with this is always like, you know what, girl, you are absolutely right. Just like tell me what you need. You don't want me to see them? I'm not seeing them anymore. Like,
what you would say to them.
Yeah, no. I'm always just like, if they reach out to me and they have an issue, it's like, thank you for letting me know. I'm glad that we're having a dialogue. I'm glad that you're not angry at me. But there was one girl who was just like, tried to scare me into thinking that I had like gotten something. Like she was just like, oh, he has blah, blah, blah. And I was like freaked out for a bit, and then I got tested for it and I didn't have it. I was just like, oh, she just was trying to upset me. But it's like,
you're like, if you had just asked, I would have said I won't fuck him again.
Like, it's not like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
do you date openly at all?
Like, I date people who are poly.
Yeah.
I don't identify as poly just because it's like, it's not something that I really want to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I date people where I'm like not their primary partner.
Right.
And
so you could have no idea like what their situation is until they reach out.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's just, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Like these are just, unless it's like somebody that I'm in love with, which has not happened for a bit, and I'm fine with that. But yeah, no, I just think that it should be as casual as possible, and that's kind of what I kept in mind when I was answering the questions. I was just thinking like,
stop freaking out.
What's the chillest way for me to deliver this information?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the questions, like you were saying, is people being like, I've never had sex. Is this something I need to tell a partner or whatever? Or somebody was even like, should I put it in my bio?
I was like, no. Everybody, I've noticed, I think social media has made it so like everybody feels like they need to say so much. And it's like, you actually don't have to say all of that. You know, because I think about sex like in a very like a mechanical sense. Like you're with someone, you get aroused, you know, you move to the bed. Like it's all just very, you know, instinctual.
They ask you to peg them, you say no.
Yeah.
You go back to the bed.
That reminds me, I was thinking about, this isn't pegging, but like last year I was sleeping with this finance bro, this 26-year-old finance bro who like worked for Wells Fargo.
Okay.
And he just like would go to the gym like 4 times a week. He had overnight oats. He had no snacks in his apartment.
He is that guy.
He is that guy. Yeah.
Okay. He wears a vest.
Well,
like a fleece one
yeah.
that his company gave him. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But he, at some point when we were sleeping with each other, like he just like went in the wrong hole and we were doing anal all of a sudden, and it ended up like, you know, it was enjoyable, it was fine, but then like he got really, really excited about it and like didn't the circumstances to which it happened is that like,
do you really believe it was a mistake? Yeah. Finance bro is that guy. Come on.
Maybe it wasn't. Like it just, I don't know. Every the stars aligned for it to not be totally uncomfortable.
Okay, great.
For that. But then he got really excited about it. And he, one of our last dates that we went on, we went to go see this movie called Green Border, which is like about like border crossing and like actually like it's very harrowing, really good movie.
Yeah. He's thinking about the other border that he crossed,
and so
the taint.
We're in the theater and he like whispers to me that he has a gift for me, and I was like, oh, okay, a present. And so when we leave, we go back to his place and he presents me with the present, and the present is a box of butt plugs.
Oh. Sounds like a tongue twister. A box of butt plugs and a biscuit mixer. Like
a really nice, like stainless steel, like had like a little, like it was kind of like
little gem on the end.
Yes, little gem on the end. And you could tell that he like went to the store because he also had like, he'd also bought like restraints and like groups and stuff. And he was just like,
wait, where did you meet this man?
Oh, on Fields.
Okay.
And he just like, I just love that it just seemed like he just went to the store and had the stuff and he just like presented it to me. And what was so funny was that like, that was one of the last times that I saw him, because afterwards he decided that he wanted to work for this promotion at Wells Fargo, and so he got like very intense about it. It's like, I have to study, I have to do this, I have to get this promotion. And so then he got so distracted that I haven't seen him since, but I still have the butt plugs.
Fantastic.
So it's just like, that was like the parting gift.
Do you use?
I've used them a couple times, just like
sometimes it's nice to have a little butt bling.
Yeah, just like curious, like just like, could this be okay? And I think for the right person, also the right dick, I think.
Yeah.
Because I find that like long, skinny dicks are the best for that.
Oh.
Because it's just like, basically like you're going in, there's like the hole, but then there's like a threshold that you also pass where like it becomes pleasurable, but you have to hit the other. So it's
totally.
like it's slim, it slides in, it hits, and then it hits that second one.
Skinny dicks up the butt.
Skinny dicks up the butt.
Oh, I thought you were talking about in the front while the butt plug is in.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No. I mean, like, there's a specific kind of dick
yes.
where, like, it works.
It goes past the threshold, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think a thick dick is probably better for in the front while you have a plug.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, like, because
all shapes and sizes are really good for different shit.
Yeah, it's true. Like shorter dicks, like, you know, those are good for kind of like the You can do like different positions. Like with a shorter dick, like sometimes I'll just be like, it'll be kind of like a sitting position.
Yes.
It's like
a riding.
yeah.
And
yeah,
grinding.
Yeah.
When you were talking about anal and going to the movies, I immediately thought of that scene in Fleabag where it's like the first episode and the guy has like a massive dick and he fucks her in the ass and he thanks her so much in the morning and he goes, I've never been able to do that. Thank you so much. And then she goes, and that to the camera. And then I spent the rest of the day thinking, do I have a gigantic asshole? It's one of my favorite scenes about sex, that it's like they had a good time and then he says this one thing that she's just like, oh no.
I mean, that's good. You know, it means that like everything down there is
Sometimes it just works.
it's just aligned. Like I had like pelvic floor issues for a bit, so sometimes I use like a dilator to help with that, and it's like it made me feel weird at first, but now it's just like now I just can casually use it. It's just like, you know, you're checking your pelvic floor, everything's good. Like it's like it's a nice like little health checkup.
When do you do it? When do you do it? Like during a specific activity? Do you do it like laying down or?
I just like sometimes I'll just do it while I'm like in bed reading, or like watching a movie. I can sit in my computer with it. Yeah.
Back to the sex Q&A. Were there any questions that you received that you were like, I don't know how to answer that at all?
Yeah, there was one person that was talking about double fisting. Any really questions about fisting, I can't really answer because fisting terrifies me, which may be kind of like, you know, maybe I'll meet the right woman one day who like she's gonna do it and she's gonna make me like not terrified, but just the idea of a hand being like anal fisting or vaginal a hand being in there is just, it terrifies me. I think it's just because like I'm like pretty tight and like, you know, after it might be easier to do like after a few rounds, like when you're in it, but like,
yeah, I mean, if you need a dilator, I would imagine a fist is terrifying.
It's like
a fist terrifies me.
It's just like, and like, even when I just like look up like, okay, if I look at this scientifically, it's gonna be okay, and then I see like the duck bill and I'm just like, absolutely not. No.
And that's okay. No, I mean, you could give the advice of like, just take it slow and do it with somebody that you trust, but then it's like, if I don't genuinely have advice for something like this, I can't.
Yeah, I
help you.
specifically had to say like, I can't help you with fisting. I need to do some research. Like I think I'm gonna have to do it eventually just so that I'll know what it's like. But like that's gonna be a real challenge for me.
Are you going to do these Q&As more often, you think?
I might, yeah. I mean,
Did you find it fun?
Yeah, I did find it fun. Like the only questions that like I didn't like really pay attention to were people who really wanted to fuck me, which was like a surprising number of people. I noticed
that you were like, why are people asking about me personally?
Yeah, like people were just like asking like what size dick I like circumcised, uncircumcised.
Yeah.
Like, would I peg them? Would I please peg them?
No.
And just like, yeah, stuff like that. And like, oh, Dom's getting a little fresh with me. Like, just because I like to be dominated doesn't mean that I want to be dominated by just anybody. I'm actually very choosy. I remember
and so you should.
I used to be on FetLife, and it was so funny because like, when I was like, I would like do like I'd be like, I'm looking for a Dom, and I would like post this story. I'm not on FetLife anymore because I don't want to be on there. The vibes are weird, but
is FetLife an app or just a website?
It's a website.
Okay.
I don't know if it's ever become an app. It would probably be better if it would, but it's like, it's very like old internet.
That's how I imagine it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's very old
I've
internet.
just
like
heard tell.
it was like it's like dark black with like red buttons.
Totally how I imagine it.
yeah, that's what it. But I would like specify like what I wanted, and like some doms would like get an attitude with me on threads. Like they would just be like, "Oh, what about you is so special that you have these demands?" And I was just like, "I don't really have demands. It's just that like I would rather be dominated by somebody that like I like." Respect intellectually, that I can have conversations with, that is cultured in a certain way, and like it's just like, you know, like I because not just because like I'm
self-respect and preferences,
right. It's not even just that I'm choosy, it's that I'm more turned on when like I'm very turned on by people engaging with art. I'm very turned on by people reading my writing and responding to it. Like it's very hot to me when somebody that I'm fucking, like not even dating, but just fucking, just like reads an essay that I wrote and has thoughts on it.
Would you consider yourself a sapiosexual?
I'm not even really sure what that is.
You're attracted to intellect.
I feel like most people who say that aren't as smart as they think they are.
No, those are pseudo sapiosexuals.
like with my one of my favorite things that one of my ex-fiancés, my first ex-fiancé, would do is that
way to bury the lead.
He would like he would like read to me, and I just loved like him reading to me. This is probably gonna sound douchey to anybody else, but I really liked it. One time I was really mad about something, and I couldn't get out of my head about it. He just read like David Foster Wallace's "This Is Water" to me.
Aww.
And it was really nice.
That is really nice.
And it did calm me down.
I had a moment, I made Ben watch all of Sex and the City, and then when we got to the season with the Russian and he was reading Carrie poetry, I was like, why don't we ever read poetry to each other? And the next day we did. And the poems I picked were awesome, and his sucked.
Such a nice experiment, though. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like, part of also why I know a lot about sex, even kind of sex that I haven't had, is that when I was a teenager, I used to write my own erotica, and I would like post it on message boards and stuff. And so I was constantly like researching like sex like mechanically, because I wanted to write about acts that I hadn't had before, and like dynamics and stuff like that. So I just read a lot about like sex, sexual health, different positions, all kinds of stuff. One thing that I've
Were
never
you
read
reading other erotica too?
Yeah.
Did you have favorites?
I did, yeah. There's just like, I always liked ones that were like very like, it's kind of what I like about Babygirl, where it's like kind of like intellectual about like everyone is thinking about what roles that they're playing. Like they're actually thinking about it and how that role like corresponds to their sex and like how they relate to other people. I find that really interesting.
And you've said the word mechanical twice.
Oh yeah.
Which I just pick up on, because one of the worst insults I felt after I had sex with some guy was he said, "You were very mechanical." And I was offended because he was correct. I was only doing it because I had recently got out of a relationship and just like did it to do it. But when you're saying mechanical, you just mean like how things work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like
you are present during sex.
Yeah. I mean, I for the most part, yeah. I mean, I do have like, there have been situations where I have disassociated during sex, and it's really interesting. Not a lot of people are good at talking about that, though, I feel.
About disassociating?
Disassociating during sex.
Yeah.
Like, I think a book which is like not fun and not sexy, but a great book, My Dark Vanessa. That's probably like one of the best books that like depictions of like sexual trauma and disassociating and kind of like
I was going to say most disassociation happens post-trauma.
Yeah.
Or if you are currently in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't seen, I think that was when I'm mechanical, I'm not there.
Yeah. Yeah, where it's just like you kind of know what you need to do to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, when I talk about mechanics, usually I just mean like, you know, what the body does, like how the body responds to certain things. Like, you know, like if somebody like touches my nipples in the right way, it's just like it's like an on button,
Yeah.
you know?
It really is. And I know that you had responded to somebody who was asking, I think, how to heal from sexual trauma. And you shared your experience that was basically like something happened to me, and then I went and told a teacher about it.
Oh, yeah. That was a big thing for me because I think it's the reason why I went to therapy, and I've been in therapy ever since. I've been out a couple times, but like I always come back. I'm very consistent.
Because the teacher suggested it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It was just nice that somebody gave a shit.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah.
And like everybody else that I had talked to about it kept on talking about like the police and stuff. And I just like, I'm not confrontational in that way. And I mean, part of it is just that I don't like the police.
Yeah. And they have a really bad track record of getting justice.
Exactly.
But that's a really good point, that when assault does happen, a lot of people, and I've been guilty of this too, when it's happened to my friends, will be like, get like retribution.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, how do we resolve your feelings right now and make you okay through this thing?
Yeah. And like essentially I realized that like me getting through it was more important than me trying to get justice in that sense. Because there's just always like a lot to sift through in the brain. And also very weirdly, I was very into Degrassi growing up.
Yeah.
And I always think about the plot where like Paige gets assaulted and then she goes to court and, you know, she speaks her truth, and like she's very, you know, it's some of her best acting, it's some of her best scenes, but then, you know, justice is not served.
Totally.
And I think about like what she put herself through to get there, and I was always just like, I don't want to.
Totally. No, it's like,
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that in a day that I'm mentally well, let alone right after a crisis has happened.
Yeah, and just like all the stuff where it's like you can't shower, you have to go right to the hospital. It's against the most like base kind of instinct that you want to take a shower. The fact that you can't.
You want to take a shower, you want to go home.
Yeah.
You want to be alone probably, or surrounded by people. Definitely not with strangers. Definitely not in a hospital.
Yeah. And so it's so brave when people do it, and I have so much respect for it. And in a sense, I wish I had a more you know, kind of like aggressive sense of justice, but it's kind of like, you know, not everybody is like that.
Yeah. And there's no like wrong way to go about it. It's literally your story.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think when I see, you know, people dealing with assault, and like, I talked to some men who had dealt with assault too. And that was like, you know, I was really happy to have those interactions because I had no idea what to say, but like, that's okay. I was just like kind of like trying to hear them out. But I just want people to understand that like it's gonna be weird afterwards. Like one of the things that has always kind of like complicated my relationship to BDSM is that there are times when I think that I'm into it because bad things happen to me. And I used to feel like really bad about it. And actually this is like covered in Babygirl. There's like a scene where Nicole Kidman's character is talking about like how she thought that it was childhood trauma that she was that way. She thought there was something wrong with her that she needed to like fix.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of like my comfort with sex is coming to terms with the fact that sure, this might have been brought on by trauma, but that doesn't make it bad. That doesn't make me dirty. It just, things happen to us and they change who we are, and we should be able to accept that without, you know, judging ourselves.
And regardless if it was because of it or not, if this thing now brings you pleasure, why guilt yourself? And it's easier said than done to like absolve yourself of that. But
yeah, because there's this idea, like, I feel like people have gotten very political about sex in terms of like, they're thinking less about what feels good and thinking more about like what would look bad. But the thing that I tried to emphasize when I was answering the questions is that sex is between you and the person alone in a room. You can do whatever.
totally.
You just have to respect each other. And just this idea of like letting people know that like they're not being watched, because it clearly I feel like everybody feels like they're being watched.
Well,
now.
I've been talking about that, where even I'll be having, I think it's because of social media and like how accessible everyone's thoughts are. And the second that, like, even if you see a tweet or you see a TikTok, the first thing that you do is you go to the comment sections to see, what does everybody else think about this thing?
Yeah.
You know, so everybody is very aware that other people are going to have other opinions. And I've been having conversations, not recorded conversations, where in my head I'll go, oh my God, I wonder what the comment section would be thinking about this. Like I talk about that a lot, and I'm like, it's very dissociative in like a life way.
Yeah. It's kind of like like there are people talking about like their bodies and like, you know, feeling like they're unattractive. And I mean, I kind
a lot of those questions. I feel unattractive. I've got body acne. I feel overweight. What do I do?
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting how much, and it's in a negative sense, but I'm grateful for it in the sense that Twitter has really made me stop caring about that. Because, you know, there was a time, because I think for a while on Twitter, my avatar was like a young version of myself, like a baby version. And the reason why I did that was because I was tired of people talking about my appearance. So for a few years there,
I remember when you were a baby.
Where I was just like, and that was actually like my reasoning for making that change. But what I kind of learned since in the whole grand scheme of things is that I've learned to like see when somebody tells me that I'm unattractive online and just think about it kind of like logically for a second. Like, wow, this person isn't in the room with me. I'm not fucking this person. I'm not dating this person. Why does it matter?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I keep on, that's the kind of insight that I want to share. It's like when you are about to fuck somebody, they have chosen to fuck you.
You're in the room.
You're in there.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. Like, these things that you think matter, they don't matter.
And it doesn't matter what 50 million people think out there, what their cumulative idea of what you is. It's that one person at this one time.
Exactly. It's like, oh, so people online think that I'm fat. Cool. I mean, I have sex with a lot of people.
You literally have a tweet that I screenshotted because I thought it was so good. It was, oh no, not someone calling me fat. How will I ever get over it? Answer by having a life, going on dates, and also sex.
I mean, yeah. And I mean, it's just true. Like, nobody that I fuck ever brings up my body unless it's to compliment
in a
it.
positive way.
Yeah. So it's just like, I've had to like teach myself, oh yeah, this is fake. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I noticed a lot of the questions you responded to very nicely, but then also suggested field.
Yes.
And we were talking about FetLife.
Yes.
Field is different.
Field is different. Field is actually like an app.
Yeah.
And you can go on Field and it's like based on like, you can like look based on desire. So like if I'm looking for somebody who enjoys being dominant, I can search for somebody who enjoys being dominant. You can search for submissives. You can search for people who like rope play, you know, all kinds of
crystal butt plugs.
yeah. And like everybody gets to talk about what they're into, fisting, you know.
Well, there was one that I was really interested by where somebody was like, I'm looking for more of a demisexual relationship. And you were like, go on Field, say you're demisexual. And it's like, I would never have thought of that. I always think of Field as like, oh, it's like kinky. It's like, it's above vanilla sex, where demisexuality, if you guys don't know, we've talked about it, but it's like you need to have an emotional connection to the person. And so it's like, you can ask for that too.
Yeah.
Of course you can ask for that too.
Yeah, you can ask for anything that you want. Like, there are people, like, you know, that'll be like, I'm asexual, I don't like to have sex, but I would like a romantic relationship without sex. And like, and they can find that there. And I think, like, I wish there were more apps like it, or the more options like that, because it's just all people want so many different things. Like, there are people that are just like, the person that I'm in love with doesn't like having sex, but I love them, so I want people that I can have sex with, and then I want to go home to the person that I love. And you know, like, everybody's got, you know, different situations to navigate. And I think that, like, the more that people like immerse themselves in all these different situations, the less weird that they'll feel about it.
Yeah. Can I see your Field? I've never seen the app.
Sure.
I imagine it's green. Is it green?
No. I mean, like, I mean, also, like, I have it on dark mode. I have all of my apps on dark mode.
What does that mean?
I mean, that they're, like, you know, sometimes apps are like,
Oh, like,
usually, like,
when it's
bright.
nighttime mode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Let's see if it'll. Why is it asking me if I want to? Everybody's talking about being verified. I don't want to see that.
Why would you want to be verified?
I didn't be verified on Field. Gonna put my whole. Just show me the profile, man. Just show it to me. Okay, it's like, you can. Those are my photos.
Oh, you're so cute. Okay. Show yourself. Wait, so this, you wrote this?
Yeah.
No. You wrote this too? No.
Wait, what is going on?
I think it deleted your profile. No, I'm just kidding.
Where is it? Do I have to just like click? Okay, I'm just gonna click edit just so that. Okay, edit preview.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay. This is just, okay. So you have a whole bio where you talk about yourself. 5'3". Look at you, a little taller than me. Just normal bio stuff, getting to know you. And then it says desires. And I guess you could pick from a bunch of different categories, like singles, BDSM,
Yeah.
intimacy, and then interests are normal interests again. Okay, so I always thought of it as like way kinkier.
Yeah, I mean, some people's pages are more like they'll be like, here are all of the things that I'm into, and you can just put anything there, you know, whatever you want. Like, some people are like,
I love that intimacy is an option.
yeah. I mean, sometimes people just want that. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I've met with people on Field, and it's just, they just want to kind of like spend time together and like spoon.
Totally, a little cuddle.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was like that service for a bit that was like you could hire someone to cuddle you?
I never heard of that, but
I don't know if it was a joke or if it really existed, but like for a time period, it says something about it, and I was like, that's a good idea.
yeah. I mean, like, I have friends who are sex workers, and they talk about like how much sex work is just like, you know, these guys just like need a friend, somebody to talk to.
Yeah, no, there's a reason why they call it the girlfriend experience. Like sometimes you just go to dinner, cuddle, listen to their problems.
Yeah, I had an OnlyFans for a bit, and that was like honestly my favorite website.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just so nice. I would just like post my videos, and everyone was so sweet, and they would give me such nice feedback, and it was just like, I don't know. It's like, I guess they were like paying to see like my tits and ass, so it's like, why wouldn't they be?
Why wouldn't? Yeah.
But it was just like, it was just a really nice, positive experience on the internet.
Totally. Oh my God. What made you stop doing it?
Oh, it's just a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
people say.
it's like setting up. I like because I would set up lights. I would set up my like I put my camera on my phone camera on like a tripod. Sometimes I would have like gels, like different lights, different music, and I was always having to like buy more lingerie and like do all of that. And it was the lingerie was only for the OnlyFans because the person I was with at the time wasn't really into lingerie. So it was just like
I have yet to meet someone who's actually into lingerie.
right? It's so weird. Like I don't know, when I was a kid, like watching stuff when I was younger, I always thought everybody
loves lingerie.
and now whenever I wear it, people are like, "Whoa, you're being real fancy right now."
Or
And
they
you're
just
like,
go, "That's nice, take it off." And you're like, "I spent money on this set."
yeah. Oh, sometimes you can get the sets where it's like open down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you can.
But that's, I think lingerie is for the person wearing it, ultimately.
yeah.
Because I've never seen somebody be like, "Oh, like, oh, you know, like,"
Yeah.
it's like, and my mom used to say this too, like that she would wear pretty bras because it made her feel pretty underneath throughout the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so cute. Doesn't do it for me, but like, I've definitely a pair of open panties could feel really hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, wait, are you watching Severance?
I have not started season 2. Everyone keeps talking about it. I've been rewatching Twin Peaks: The Return, so I've
Why
been
is everyone watching Twin Peaks?
because David Lynch died.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been watching Twin Peaks: The Return over and over and over again. I mean, I've been watching the show, but The Return is especially just really weird energy throughout. But I am planning on watching Severance because I've heard I liked season 1. So
Can I do a spoiler
sure,
to ask you a question?
sure.
Do you mind spoilers?
No, I don't care.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
Okay. I enjoy spoilers because then I'm like, how did we get there?
exactly.
Okay.
That's a great attitude.
So there's innies and outies.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, Helly's outie sneaks in to the innie group and is like trying to like infiltrate them. And innie Mark S, has sex with outie Helly,
Oh wow!
thinking that it's innie Helly.
Wow. Okay.
Do we think that that is uninformed consent? Like, I definitely think it's rude of outie Helly to innie Helly, like that she
Yeah.
took her experience,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is horrible, but also Mark wouldn't fuck outie, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's
It's weird.
it's a switcheroo.
Yeah. That's really that's complicated. It actually makes me think of there's a long stretch in The Return. I mean most of The Return where there's like the main character is like Agent Cooper, and Agent Cooper is kind of like trapped in the life of another guy who just happens to look like him, Dougie Jones.
Yeah.
And there is like, and so there's a scene where Dougie Jones' wife fucks him, and it's like, does he know what's going on?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, or like there's so many shows where, I mean, this is different because it's not sci-fi, but like where a twin
Oh yeah, that's weird.
will do an identical twin, and it's like, well, that's definitely wrong.
that's
That's
absolutely,
100% like
absolutely, yes.
creepo assault, not allowed.
Yeah.
But when they're in the same body, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I've been very disturbed by it this past week.
Fascinating.
Right?
Okay. I need to catch up.
Get on board. It's a crazy season. Okay, so I'm sorry to tell you those spoilers, but I just wanted to get your
Oh yeah.
opinion and get your gears turning. And if you think of anything, let me know.
Yeah.
And if you guys think of anything, DM us, How Come Podcast. one of the things that you recommended a ton to people as well was smoking weed or CBD.
Mm-hmm.
How does weed play a factor in your life?
Oh no.
I think it's okay.
I'm glad that I remembered to mention CBD because I'd forget it. Well, because when I first started having sex, I had vaginismus.
Hence the dilators.
Yeah. And so, it became like a thing where it's like I really wanted to do it. I was really attracted to the person, but there's just something in my body that wasn't working. And so it's just good for like relaxation in terms of like it allows me to be present in my body more. And so like I recommend smoking a joint. It's just one. It could just be just like one little joint, just like so that you can feel that you are in your body. It's just like to help to be a little bit more present. And CBD also, like just something to relax down there, because I know that in terms of tenseness, when I'm like tense, it's just like it's all locked up, like nobody's getting in there. And I figure it's better than being like, oh, you should have a glass of wine. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you should all be drinking. No, it's like you can smoke a joint, you finish it, you put the joint out, you be done with it.
2 puffs if you're a weakling.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, and it's just getting you into the mode. And then once you're in the mode, and some people use like candles, oil, scents, like all of it is for essentially that, like
mood setting,
getting your body ready, because it's like it's very personal, bodies together, joining. You gotta,
or even masturbating. Like sometimes people are like way too in their head, and it's like you need to smoke a joint. And like we've had some people that wrote in and said that their first congrats, like their first come from listening to the podcast, was smoking a joint, and then finally being relaxed enough to like go to town.
Yeah, it helps.
I'm wondering if I would be okay with CBD since I haven't been smoking.
Yeah, CBD is nice.
Do you smoke CBD, or you? I
No,
feel like I'm like a boomer.
You
being
can
like,
have like
how do you do this?
they have like gummies.
Okay.
You can have like there's like a little oil. You can put like the dropper on your tongue.
Cool.
Yeah. Or,
You can make it a sexy experience. Drop it on their tongue. They drop it on your tongue.
yeah.
Hot. Love that.
Yeah.
When did you start smoking?
When I was 19.
You ever take
Which
a
is
break?
also when I started having sex.
Oh, nice.
It all just started at once. Yeah.
Okay, wait. I was curious about this. So, did you start asking the sex questions, or like fielding the sex questions because of the IUD debate on Twitter?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was directly correlated.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we tell them about the IUD debate on Twitter?
I mean,
It was a crazy 2 days, you guys.
it was well, because it was just a lot of people being very, very hyper fixated on insertion, which is so confusing. It's just like, because basically what happened is there was some guy, he posted bait essentially, where it's like,
You think it was bait?
I kind of think it was bait.
Okay.
Where this guy was, he like was like kind of like clicking his heels.
Yeah, I was
like,
doing the giddy little leprechaun.
little
click, click.
Because like his girlfriend got an IUD, which means that they don't, means if they're just having sex with each other, then they can,
Raw next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there would just be this.
But it was the guy's friend. He was like, my friend's girlfriend just got an IUD. And then
Yeah.
the picture of the friend clicking the heels.
Yeah. Yeah. And what happened is that a lot of like Twitter rad femmes, and I mean just like people in general, just like talked about like how just why does the woman have to suffer so that the man can nut?
Did you say rad femmes?
femme.
Radical feminists?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like why must the woman suffer so that the man can nut? And like the first thing that I thought was like, what are you talking about? and it just became this whole thing of just like, this is just women suffering so that men can get something and women don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, but like what, like there are women who like cum, which like I couldn't, doing the questions was my way of talking about it without really talking about it, because I didn't want to be like,
Okay, well, I'm talking about it. Okay, so here's the actual original tweet is roommate's girl got an IUD. Safe to say he's pretty excited. And then the responses that are of note to me is, yay, she's destroying her hormones. Nope, unnatural. He doesn't love her. Sad. Must be a cuck. RIP her hormones and everything that makes her a woman. Like, these aren't just rad femmes. These are like crazy people.
yeah, no, it's very strange.
Did y'all ever see that baby grabbing her mother's IUD after giving birth? Crying face.
What?
Someone said not getting pregnant in 2025 is the wave. Low key. Agree. Someone said, I hope he genuinely takes the time to help and look after her after that. IUDs are very painful to put in. True.
Mm-hmm.
Very painful. Somebody said, when your future is officially stress-free and you're literally walking on air. Someone said, I can't quite put my finger on it, but this feels barbaric. Wow, roommate is a scumbag. Sounds like she's a whore.
Just
Somebody said, why are people upset about this? Is everyone okay? It's a win-win for this couple, LMFAO.
genuinely.
Genuinely. Someone said, I have an IUD and I don't have a problem with this, LOL. Like, it became this like whole like fight
Yeah.
where people were just like, this is awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like insertion, it happens and then it's in your body for years.
Yeah, it's one day.
Yeah, and so it's just very confusing to like focus on it at, like, they treated it like it was this like trauma, and I don't know. It
hurts. Don't get us wrong.
It hurts. Yeah. No, I had 2 insertions. The first time I listened to My Bloody Valentine's Loveless while it was happening. The second time I listened to Solange's When I Get Home. Like, I just chose the most calming music. I took like some Advil beforehand.
Great.
And like it was painful, and then it was just like in there, and like it. Like, I had my own issues with it, with like my pelvic floor and stuff, but like,
oh my God, yeah.
not a lot of, but it's like, it's.
So if anybody knows about the pain, it's you.
I mean, that's it. I had a lot of pelvic floor issues in my 20s, and it was like, it made me feel insane because like nobody wants to talk about nobody, unless you're like an old woman or something, like nobody really wants to talk about it. But it was, going through the experience in my 20s was really useful for me because I learned, you know, pelvic floor exercises. I learned what my pelvic floor was, how to take care of it, and all. It was like a lot of that. And also my friend who had twins during lockdown, like I was able to tell her that she could just like buy dilators online, or she could just like get something, and she had no idea. And it's like she pushed twins out of her body and no one told her that there was something that she could do to like strengthen that area, work with the pain in the area. It's like that's what's barbaric.
Holy
to
shit.
me.
Did those twins come out holding an IUD?
It's so weird. Also, like the way that people were talking about IUDs was strange because like there's the copper one that has no hormones.
Yeah.
And then there's the other ones that have like hormones, and like and it's just like nobody seemed to know the difference. Nobody seemed to know that there was more than one.
And nobody was taking into account that if your hormones are fucked, your gyno isn't going to give you one of the ones that's going to fuck it more.
Exactly.
Like, I have a non-hormonal one.
Yeah.
I love it. Somebody said, why do y'all act like this? She was probably excited about getting an IUD too. Have you ever been happy, or do you just like to imagine that other people are as miserable as you all the time?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people talk about sex, like especially like from the woman's perspective, as something that like she endures. And you know, and when I would, it was interesting because I was talking about like how, you know, we shouldn't talk about sex like that. And then people were just like, well, what about like the history of like marriage and like the way that, you know, marital rape? And it's like, yes,
That's all bad.
that's all bad. But like, that doesn't mean that you should think about sex in this way.
Totally.
In general.
Totally. Because then it's going to ruin your time right now.
Right, exactly. It's like you run into these challenges, but like at its root, like sex is, you know, a pretty simple
It's supposed to
thing.
be fun.
It's supposed to be fun, and people are not having fun.
Yeah.
I've
find
realized
that IUDs make sex more fun because you are more carefree
Yeah,
in the moment and the days after.
yeah.
Oh, and then there was that big vasectomy debate that a bunch of people were like, oh, like they should get to vasectomies instead of us getting IUDs. And then this, which is crazy, you guys. Vasectomies are not as reversible as, like they're reversible, but like
Yeah, not always.
if you believe in bodily autonomy, you can't mandate vasectomies.
no,
But this woman wrote, ladies, don't get an IUD. Make your man get a vasectomy instead. That way you'll never get pregnant as long as you stay monogamous forever and never break up with him. It's fine that you're only 20. Where are you going? Have you seen what the fetus looks like at 6 weeks?
yeah, no, it's weird because in the like making it like equivalent is crazy because it's like, no, you're putting birth control in your body. The birth control lives in your body. Like a vasectomy is like this man is changing his body and he might not be able to change it back. Like it's like that's why it's usually compared to like getting your tubes tied or something. Like it's not. It's just. I think that people just really hate the idea of having kids so much that they're not even like considering options or anything. Like people really seem to hate the idea of having kids, and they seem to like hate kids with an increasing intensity lately. And I'm just like,
I don't hate kids. I just don't want one right now.
yeah, no, that's fine. Exactly.
I think that they are angry because they are assuming something about this man.
Yeah.
They are assuming that this man forced her to get an IUD, is a terrible man, would never take contraception if he was offered it. Like, you don't know anything about this man. He could be all the things I just said.
Yeah.
Or he could just be a guy whose girlfriend got an IUD and he goes, fun. We can fuck raw now. And like,
Yeah.
I like that. And she likes that.
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, it was crazy the amount of times where I would just like, but what if she likes raw sex? And nobody wanted to like really engage with that when I would
Totally.
say that. And it's
Yeah.
just like, I like it. Like, I wouldn't be saying, like, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, oh no, his cum. It's like some people like cum. Some people like when I give head, I swallow.
You
I'm
love
fine with
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, you don't know where she lives. What if she's in a state where abortion is not possible anymore?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're really shitting on somebody
she could be protecting,
for...
she's protecting herself. Yeah, no, it's
What are you doing?
It's crazy. It's like it's just people are just very afraid of sex, very afraid of men, and I think like for a variety of reasons. Instead of just like very calmly like parsing through it, people are just moving towards kind of like a fear-mongering mentality. And so when I started doing the Q&A, I was trying to make people feel calmer about
Totally.
sex.
Yeah. This girl goes, I love my IUD, but if I went online and I saw a guy I was fucking posted this, I would rip it out with my bare hands and leave it in his bed like the horsehead from The Godfather.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Girl.
What are you so like? Well, it's just
Also,
like,
it's not a guy that
if you're
she's
this
just fucking.
if you're this angry at men, like why even have sex with them?
Don't have sex with them, and that's your option too.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. Oh my God. I loved all of your commentary during it, and
It was man, they were 22-year-olds mad at me. Like I think that's why I mentioned rad femmes, because it was the rad femmes that came after me that were very upset with me. And I was just like, man, I've been a feminist for not 20 years, I wish. I've been a feminist for 10 years.
born one.
And I just really just
Came out holding an IUD.
And I'm just like, you can be this often goes on deaf ears, but it's like, you can be a feminist and you can be a slut and you can be chill. You can be all of those things.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, like, that's just like liberal feminism. You're not really serious about it. It's like, no, I'm pretty serious about it, but I'm also serious about like getting off and enjoying it.
Yeah.
You need to be serious about that too.
Totally.
Like sometimes I'll just talk to somebody. I was just like, you just seem so stressed out, man. Like, have you tried masturbating? Like, I I consider masturbating like a mental health thing that I do. Like,
Totally.
I'm just like, I'm really freaking out right now. I got to do something about this.
I used to see it that way before it became really tough for me, but that is neither here nor there. Do you remember your first orgasm before I let you go?
God, my first orgasm.
She hides behind her hair to think.
I think that was with the first guy that I was engaged to.
We return to the story of the engagements.
So I was probably like 22.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I had gotten into grad school, but I didn't have anywhere to live yet. So I was staying with this friend, and she was living in this really weird situation in this like annexed room, and then there was like a connecting room that was like kind of like a gentleman's game room that was there that wasn't being used. So it had like a bar, like a big leather couch. It had like a little green where you could like golf inside.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And so like I had him come over, and like we like fucked like on the ground. Like it was like where the golfing would have happened, like on the in
The most uncomfortable spot in the room.
But it was
Prickly sex.
But it was really nice, and I don't even know like what was special about it. Well, because like we had been talking about me having vaginismus. Well, like he basically he found the word, like he was like, I think that this is what it is.
Yeah.
And then we read about it, and then we talked about it, and then we chilled out, and we got like high, and then I don't know what special thing that he did. I think like part of it was just that he was just really in tune to how I was reacting to him.
Yeah. And he gave a fuck.
Yeah.
To like look into what was going on with you.
Yeah. And so I felt like really relaxed. And yeah, that was.
Was it during penetration or?
It was, yeah, which it doesn't usually happen that way. But
wow.
It happened that way that time.
And what happened? Can I ask you what happened with the engagements?
I moved up here, and I was in grad school, and he was afraid to move here because from Georgia, and then at some point he just decided, fuck it, and he picked up and he moved, and we lived together for a few months, and he just really was intimidated by New York.
And you were like, no, I am New York.
Yeah, he just he didn't take I didn't realize that I took to New York until I saw somebody not taking to it.
Totally. And that's okay.
Yeah, no, I love the guy.
Yeah.
I still talk to him to this day.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, not my second fiance though.
Okay. Well, we don't have to talk about him either. Jourdain, it has been so wonderful having you on the podcast. I wish we could talk for the rest of the night.
Yeah, this has been a great talk.
It's been so fun. Can you tell everybody where they can find you online and find your work?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I'm not going to call it the other thing.
No, we don't do that.
Instagram and Blue Sky. I'm Judy Squirrels. You can find my work in The Hollywood Reporter, RogerEbert.com, IndieWire, Vulture. Yeah, I'm around, and I have like a Substack that I almost never update, but that exists as well. And I'm gonna be getting back to comedy soon. Yeah.
We love to see it. But yeah, the only thing we did name is Twitter and the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh yeah, no, it's the Gulf of Mexico.
You guys, thank you so much for listening. Jourdain, I have to ask you one more question. I have to ask everybody this after a sexual encounter, and this has been quite sexual. Mm-hmm. Did you finish?
Yes.
Oh my God, thank you for coming. I finished too. You guys reach out to us at How Come Podcast. Follow me at Remy Casimir. And as always, you can listen to the unedited version of this on patreon.com/howcome. Bye.
Bye.
It's not you, it's me. I try so hard to finish honestly. They say you'll know when you go all the way from A right down to O. Oh no, I think that I still got a ways to go. Oh, I'm sick of this and I have got to know. How come I can't achieve? How come I can't achieve? I'm rolling up my sleeves. Oh baby, I believe these guests can help, 'cause I can't do it by myself. I wanna jizz.
I wasn't going to do a Marvel section, but like weird to do an episode about media and not have a Marvel section. So this is what I will say. I loved Anora so much. However, I do think it's weird that a movie about sex work won so many Oscars with 0 intimacy coordinators on set this year. I think that's a little like funky. But I don't know. Mikey Madison said she liked it. And what other thoughts do I have? Oh, I haven't seen Emilia Perez, but it sounds like dog shit, and Wicked should have won more awards. But here's the thing. This, like, when people are like, oh, award shows don't matter, this is when I agree with that. Because I'm like, I don't think in 30 years people are going to be like, showing Emilia Perez to their kids. Like, I don't think anybody's ever going to watch Emilia Perez again, but people will watch Wicked like 3 times a year. They'll show it to their kids and their grandkids, and it will live on, and so on and so forth. If you saw Emilia Perez and you liked it, let me know. Again, I didn't see it. It sounds stupid, and all I've heard is like that song that's like penis to vagina. Like, it sounds like a fake song. Yeah. Substance was great. Loved it. There was an older man in my life who was like, I don't understand. And I was like, you wouldn't. Thought it was a really, really good movie. And the same man, after I recorded this episode, I was talking to this man and he was like, what was the episode about? And I was like, sex and media. And he was like, I hated Babygirl. And I was like, LOL. Okay, bye guys.